Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. We got these things sent to us here. We're going to give these away on our Facebook page today. We've got the movie The Marine 5 Battleground. I have some digital download codes for people who would like to win. I'm going to have the info on how you can do this on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And if you're a big fan of the WWE, the wrestling people, this movie has more wrestlers than any other movie ever.
Huh.
So there you go. It's kind of a cool thing. They sent those over. So thank you so much for sending those. That was really nice. Coming up later in the program, we also have Dear John Letters. That's on the way. I'm excited for that.
I love Dear John.
Got a good one for today. They always put me in these awkward positions with my advice. But thanks for sending them. And today, I've got a nice quote from Paul Simon. He says, I was eating in a Chinese restaurant downtown. There was a dish called Mother and Child Reunion. It's a chicken and an egg. And I said, I got to use that one.
Okay.
Paul Simon. So today's Chinese Language Day. We'll tell you all the other special things going on today in just a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It is Thursday. I almost said Tuesday. Thursday, April the 20th. It is Chinese Language Day. It is also Get to Know Your Customers Day. So we're going to take a moment right now to just say thanks for listening. Would that be a customer? Would they be our customers for listening? Is that what you call them?
No, because they're not buying anything.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely not buying from us. They don't buy half of what we say. But it is Get to Know Your Customers Day. It is also International Cli-Fi Day today. I don't know what that is. National Cheddar Fries Day. Oh, that sounds good.
That does sound good.
High Five Day today, and that goes right along with National Pot Smokers Day because it's 4/20 today. See what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's also Ask an Atheist Day and National Dare Day. When you were a kid, were you involved in DARE at all? D-A-R-E. Remember that drug
Yeah,
program?
I remember.
Did you have that at all or no?
We had that.
When you were a kid, did they have the program?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember having it when I was like in 5th grade, but I remember being asked to be a DARE role model when I was out of high school, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, we had
So
that.
I got to go and be, because I was such a good kid. Now, Heidi probably never got asked to do that. Like, hey, when you get done with parole, would you... I'm kidding. I paint you out to be such a naughty kid. She never got caught. So, all right, coming up, we got more fun stuff on this Thursday.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Before I even mention this story, before I even talk about it, who wakes up first in our family?
You do.
Who's the early riser and who likes to sleep in?
You are the early riser.
And what do you like to do?
I like to sleep in.
Okay, keep that in mind as we listen to this bogus, ridiculous story
Okay.
that cannot even remotely be accurate. If you tend to struggle to get out of bed, you may be more intelligent than so-called morning people.
Why is this bogus?
No way. Authors of a ridiculous study called Why Night Owls Are More Intelligent says being able to hit snooze on the alarm clock means that you're adapted to modern life, as alarms are relatively new inventions. So there you go. Author Kaja Perina, she's a pathological liar, by the way. I don't know her, but I'm just telling you from this story. I'm just kidding, Cage. I don't know you, and I'm just being silly because I'm an early riser. Anyway, she says that not getting up the first time your alarm sounds indicates that you have the urge to follow your ambitions and that you are more independent and free. Another study found people who go to bed after 11 p.m. and get up after 8 a.m. are generally earning more money and having a better lifestyle than people who are, a slave to that clock. So there you go. What do you think, Heidi? You believe all that stuff?
Of course.
Yeah, of course you do, because it's in your favor. So. Now, if it would have said people who like to sleep in are, marginally intelligent, and barely involved, you'd be going, no way, this Cajun lady's nuts. Anyway, I think it's kind of funny because in our household, I've always been the early riser.
But you stay up later.
I do. I just don't get much sleep.
Yeah.
You know, Einstein didn't get much sleep. I'm not claiming to be Einstein, by the way. I'm just saying there's a lot of smart people throughout history that didn't get a lot of sleep. So, Cajun, did you look into that, by the way? All right. Anyway, you know it's true because you heard it from this guy right here, the smart one, not really, on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Police pull over a drunk driver. They do that all the time. But have you ever heard of a drunk driver pulling over the police?
No.
In all of his years patrolling in Vernon, Vermont, Police Chief Ian McCollin said, I've pulled over a lot of drunk drivers, but this is the first for me. On Route 142, he was flagged down by a motorist. As he slowed down to help the man, the chief noticed the driver pulled in behind him. Ian pulled the cruiser to the shoulder. The man pulled alongside, rolled down his passenger side window, made an astonishing proclamation. He told the chief, I've been looking for a police officer to arrest me. I'm drunk.
Oh, well, that's
Although
good.
a bit
He probably shouldn't
suspicious,
have been driving.
Chief Ian approached the vehicle. It became apparent the guy's assertions were extremely true, and then some. Brian Kondo, 28-year-old, had a history of previous DUIs, registered more than 4 times the legal limit, .08.
Wow.
His new captive, Ian, he said he was a gentleman, very polite, and very cooperative. I think he was just looking for help, end quote. So,
That's nice. Good for him for reaching out for help. He shouldn't have probably done it behind
exactly.
the wheel of a car.
I'm happy for him that he knew that he needed help, but I'm sad for him that he had to drive around looking for an officer to arrest him. You know, there's, I don't know, kind of sad. Coming up, we have your moment of duh. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. This is a sad story. First of all, for all of you who are big fans of clowns, maybe don't pay attention to what I have to say for the next 35 seconds or so, because this is not a pro-clown story. Now, Heidi, are you big fans of clowns? Not so much?
Take him or leave him.
Okay. But you're not, like, afraid of clowns?
Oh, I'm
or
not
anything?
afraid of
Okay.
clowns,
Well,
no.
this isn't anything to be afraid of, but it's something to be ashamed of. If you're a clown fan out there, I don't want you to be mad at me. I'm just reading the story. A female... Let me see here. Yeah, here it is. A female clown from New York State has been banned from wearing her costume after being convicted of charity theft. That's not good. Melinda Shipman was recently sentenced to 4 months in jail and was given 5 years probation after she kept $1,600 that she collected for a family of a child who died from cancer.
Oh, my gosh.
The woman, also known as Minnow the Clown, was ordered to give the family the money and to perform community service. And like I said, she is now banned from being a clown. And it says sentenced to 4 months in jail, 5 years probation, and she's not able to wear her clown costume now.
How do you ban somebody from being a clown?
Because she was being...
She can put that on if she wants to.
Okay, but she can also get a fine for that because she's ordered to no longer be a clown. So,
But how would they know it's her? She's dressed like a clown.
because they would know. They know what Minnow looks like. Minnow the
Okay.
Clown.
So she gets a different clown costume.
there you go.
How do they stop her
An
forever from
incognito
dressing
clown?
like a clown?
Because she used her clown outfit for evil instead of good.
I understand, but there's no way they can enforce that,
Well,
is what I'm saying.
They're going to do it. It happened in New York. That right there is what happens when somebody that, you know, is supposed to be a good person does
Well, that's
something
horrible.
wrong.
I'm
think
just
it's really
saying
sad.
they're going to
That's-
have a really hard time enforcing
All right,
that
well,
particular thing.
This has been your
I
moment.
mean, now they know she's not dressing like that at home, dancing
Could be.
around in her house.
Stop by at midnight, just making sure you're not wearing that clown outfit. Okay, that's it. Those pajamas look way too much like a clown outfit. You're coming with me, Minnow. All right, we've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Heidi, how many trees are there? How many different kinds of trees?
I don't know, lots.
Can you even guess? Just a number?
I don't know, 12.
Wrong. If you can't guess, the good news for you is there is a database that can help. Scientists from the Botanic Garden Conservation International say they've compiled a first ever comprehensive list of all known tree species totaling 60,065 different kinds of trees. 60065. That's a lot of different kinds of trees.
That is a lot of different
Heidi's
kinds of trees.
hometown of Storm Lake, Iowa, actually has a tree museum.
Yes, they do.
That's where I met Heidi, in Storm Lake, Iowa.
We both happened to be at the tree museum.
We went there on our first date.
It's not where you met me.
Well, but no, we went there on our first date, though. It's in a park. And we were walking around. I was like, oh, wow, look, this one is from General Grant's boyhood home. And this. So anyway, they could have really just taken trees from anywhere and stick signs in front of them saying
That's
anything
pretty
they
much
want.
what they did, because as old as those trees are, there's no way they planted those.
And
There's no way
somebody
they
did
knew.
way back in the
but
day.
that tree museum hasn't been there that long, is what I'm saying.
They just went
These
around and
trees
stuck
are like
tags on 'em.
200 years old, and hey, this came from, oh, okay.
Anyway, it's a brilliant idea, whoever came up with that. We should have some sort of attraction. Well, all we have are these placards. Hey, I got an idea. It's going to put them on those trees.
We could have a house museum on our street.
This house was once Johnny Appleseed's
This house
home.
was made from lumber from a tree from...
This was built with the lumber from the Mayflower. I mean, prove that it's wrong. Burden of proof is on you, the doubting Thomas. All right, back to the work here, Heidi. Genetically injured mice have produced a malaria vaccine in their milk that worked to protect monkeys from malaria. Did we talk about this already?
I don't know.
For some reason, I think we did. When christening a ship, instead of using champagne, Vikings would sacrifice a human. Wow. That kind of escalates quickly there. I think we'll stick with champagne these days. Facebook is working on a new feature called Send a Wave. Have you seen this?
No.
I think this story is like maybe a month old because I think I've been holding it for a while. It says it allows people to send their nearby friends a wave hand emoji to say hello and to meet up. So you have like this little hand that waves at you. It's
Why
kind
not
of like,
just meet up with your friends?
I know.
This is so stupid.
do you even use there's like a poke feature on
I don't
Facebook?
use anything on
Every once
Facebook
in a while,
really
I'll have
anymore.
somebody poke me on Facebook. They're like, so-and-so poked you. I'm like, what is the proper response? You poke them back? Or do you like call them and say, quit poking me? Or what do you do? I'm like,
I really,
why do you
honestly,
keep poking
I
me?
am on, if I'm on Facebook 5 minutes a day, it's a lot. I go on, I just post my little funny jokes and then I go away.
Huh.
I don't spend any time on there anymore.
There you go. Well, I'm on there every once in a while. And they're coming up here again because we got another thing about them in a bit. But first, White House spokesman Sean Spicer's press conferences apparently have become so interesting that their ratings are actually beating The Bold and the Beautiful and General Hospital. They say it has become must-see TV. There are people who tune in and are like, hey, Spicy's talking. Be quiet.
You know what? That is actually a very, very good thing. If people are going to be informed and pay attention, I think that's wonderful.
They're just wanting to make fun of poor Spicer.
You know what, though? They're hearing information
There
at
you
the
go.
same time, so
See?
I don't have a problem with that.
Hey, Payless shoe stores are said to be getting ready to file for bankruptcy as soon as next week. So that's kind of sad.
That is sad.
Very sad. And a study finds that people who use AOL email give the most money to political campaigns. So if you have an AOL account, there's some things that we know about you. First of all, you're probably over the age of 50, because I remember reading that like 3 months ago, there was a survey saying that most people who have an AOL account are over the age of 50. And now we also know that you apparently are interested in politics. And that's going to do it for a couple of things on our Scoop of the Day on this Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Imagine the sand between your toes and an ice-cold drink in your hand. Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
The website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation right now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
And right now, it's time for something we do every week at this time. It's called
Dear John Letters.
And I have our Dear John letter for this week. You ready for this one, Heidi?
Yes.
You know, I've been saying that we need to get some different type of letters because the last couple weeks they've been a little too like intimate for me.
Okay.
So now this one maybe is too big of a decision for us.
Okay.
Maybe we should be more specific on what we want here. All right, here it is. Dear John, I'm at a place in my life where I feel like I need some advice. Not sure if you can help, but I thought I'd try. Gonna pause right there. Can you hear the confidence coming from this letter?
Okay.
Not sure if you yahoos can help me, but what the heck, we'll give it a shot. All right, back to the letter here. It says, I've worked for the same small family business for about 10 years. I love the owners, and I love their whole family, but I've been offered a better job, and I need to let them know before the end of the month. The pay is a little better, but the benefits are quite a bit better. I know that it will take my current employer by surprise. I don't know what they will do to replace me here. The new offer would be with a bigger company with room for advancement. Where I am now, I am at the top with just the owner above me. I know he's not going to be here forever, so I may be able to advance here too soon. The tough thing about this is the fact that I love the place I work for now, and the people have been amazing. This would really be just a little more money and some better benefits, but I'm not sure that I'd really like it in the grand scheme of things at the new place. What do you think I should do? Signed, Wondering Worker. Okay, well, now we're in a whole different field here, Heidi, talking about major life decisions. I wonder how much weight our answer is going to have on their decision, by the way.
I would quit and go.
Would you really?
Yeah.
See, I just don't think I would.
Because for the rest of your life, you're going to be wondering, what if I had gone there? It's always better to try it. And if these people really love you, you'll have a job when you're ready to come back if it doesn't work out.
Okay. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is what I would probably do is sit down with your current employer and talk to them heart to heart and just say, I've been here 10 years. I absolutely love working with you guys. I love being here. I love the team. I appreciate all the advancement that I've had. He's at the top other than the owner right above him. But let them know that I have this opportunity and I've really struggled with this because I love it here so much and I want to stay here. And it's not a whole lot more money. It's a little more money, but it's the benefits. Maybe they could match that. If he's concerned, because he's saying, I'm not sure if I'd like the new place in the grand scheme of things, Well,
that's just it. If you turn in your notice and if they really want to keep you, they will try to keep you.
Well, and that's where
they'll say, what will it take to keep you? And if you don't matter to them, you'll find out when you give your notice. So
yeah,
give your notice.
Well, I don't think I would give my notice. I think I would have a conversation before you even reach out to the other people, because the other people, they need to know by the end of the month. And here we are, almost to the end of the month. So if it were me, my advice would be have a conversation with your current employer right away and let them know that I have this opportunity. I love it here. It's not that I want to leave, but they found me and they've reached out to me. I don't know how, if they reached out to you or if you were applying elsewhere. It doesn't say that in the letter, so I can only assume. If it sounds like he wasn't really, or she wasn't, whoever it is, wasn't really looking for a position. So it sounds like they kind of reached out to you. But let them know. Let them know that, hey, I had this opportunity. And it doesn't even say that you're going to be in the same field. So I don't know if this is going to be going to a competitor. Because imagine if you're that little family business and this guy or this lady has an opportunity to go to work for your biggest competitor. Wouldn't that be kind of hurtful if that was you, Heidi?
Well, yeah, absolutely it would. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for your own family and for your own finances. You can't always see. This is why we, as a couple, our family has never gone anywhere, because you put other people's needs.
Here we are, right here in the grand spotlight. I mean, what are you talking about? I haven't gone anywhere.
You put other people's needs above the needs of your family, and that's not a good thing. You have to look out for your family and make sure you can afford the things that you've got in your life.
I'm going to give my advice, and then Heidi's going to give her advice.
I gave my advice.
Well, we're going to do it. Here we go. Wondering Worker, my advice is have a conversation with your current employer, and please don't do it in an ultimatum way, because you're probably going to be on the wrong end of things. But if you just say, I love working here, I want to stay here, I have this opportunity, but I wanted to talk to you guys, and if you value their opinion, say I value your opinion on this, and I'd like to know, should I be taking this position or should I be staying here? Because they may even say, you know what, it's probably a good thing that you told us this, because my brother's moving back to town, or there could be something coming that you don't even know about. So maybe this would be a blessing for them too. But I would have the conversation. What's your advice to Wondering Worker, Heidi?
My advice is go in and, basically it's the exact same thing. I'm saying tell them you're leaving and they'll probably give you a better offer.
You're just more of the ultimatum way. I'm leaving, by the way. See ya.
I'm not saying an ultimatum. I'm not saying give me more money or I will quit. I'm saying go in and give your notice.
Wait, you get paid to be here? All right. Hey, Wondering Worker, hopefully that was decent advice. I just feel like we're way out of our league on some of these questions lately. If you've got a question that would be, something we can answer and maybe even give decent advice for, you can send that to us through our Facebook page. And we post these right away, early in the morning on Thursday. So you can always read them, and you're certainly welcome to chime in and give advice as well. It's all on the same Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The world's fastest flying insect is a species of horsefly. Guess how fast this little dude can fly?
How fast?
90 miles an hour.
Oh.
Yeah, he can splatter on your windshield while you're parked. I mean, he's just cruising along. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
John Milton used 8,000 different words in his poem Paradise Lost.
Okay.
That seems like a lot of words to me. On here it says only 8,000 different words. Only 8,000? If you give me only 8,000 words, I can do quite a bit with that.
Well, it must be a big poem.
Apparently. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When a queen ant dies, the entire colony goes with her. Very shortly thereafter. Yeah, because no new worker ants are born, and eventually they'll all die off. So you want to kill the whole colony? Just kill the queen ant. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Nearly 1 million deaths worldwide are caused by measles. Yeah, still.
I thought measles were
I thought so,
gone.
too.
Well, worldwide.
Yeah, that we just maybe don't have them around here. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Edgar Allan Poe introduced the mystery first fictional detective. Introduced mystery fiction's first fictional detective. That was kind of hard to say. Do you know who it was?
Who?
Auguste C. Dupin in his 1841 story, The Murder in the Rue Morgue. So there you go. Now you know. A couple of fun facts on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 rat race? Sick of not controlling your financial destiny? We partner with a leading health company whose mission is to support you to build a home-based business and help others be healthier, drop excess pounds, and live longer, more rewarding lives. Best of all, everyone who joins after you is placed on your team. No bugging family or friends. Call 866-741-7242 for more information. Or if you like, text the word income to the same number, 866-741-7242. 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Psychology researcher Felix Warneken discovered that babies develop altruism at about 18 months. Do you know what altruism is?
I do not.
Well, you're going to know now. He said they did household tasks in front of 24 different toddlers. Every time he knocked over a book or dropped a clothespin, the toddler would quickly crawl over and pick up that object and hand it back to him. He never asked for help and never said thank you because he didn't want to influence their behavior. But he found that babies only helped when he appeared to accidentally drop something and needed help, not when it looked like he knocked it over on purpose. So if he knocked something over on purpose, the kids would look at it and look back at him and like, what are you doing? Why are you throwing things around? But if he bumped it and it fell over, the kid would climb over, pick it up, and hand it back up to him.
Huh.
That's kind of cool.
That is
so
cool.
apparently altruism is kind of like
Instincts.
yeah, something like that. I don't know.
The instinct to help.
It's all of these, big $5 words. Gonna have to file that and come back to it later. Coming up here in just a moment, we got some more fun things we're going to chat about. And I want to remind people, we had our Dear John letter here a little bit ago. If you would like to send a Dear John letter for next week, we would love it if we had like 10 of them to choose from so we could pick like our favorite.
Yeah.
We'll respond to everybody through Facebook. But if you have one that you'd like to send over, that would be fantastic to have a whole bunch to choose from. So I don't have to have, this dribble like we had earlier today on there. So, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the letters, so thanks for sending them. But they always put me in these situations where it's so awkward, and I have to come up with an answer that's just an awkward thing.
Kind of what this whole segment is about. So.
I think that's kind of what it's become. It's not what it was supposed to be, but it's like, hey, let's see if we can make John stutter on the radio. You can actually hear my wires cross and smoke come out of my ears over the air. That's not good. Anyway, if you'd like to do that, you can submit those through our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
Social networks like Twitter may blunt people's sense of reality, claims a brainy scientist. It says new evidence shows the digital explosion of information from networking sites could have long-term damaging effects on the emotional development of young people's brains. You believe that?
I don't know.
It says the danger is that heavy Twitter users and heavy Facebook users could become indifferent to the emotions of people.
I could see that.
I could too. And the thing that's interesting is there are people who spend a lot of time on those social networking sites, and it's almost like reality has changed for them. Mm-hmm. Because the thing you need to understand, most of the time, what you're reading on there are people's finest moments of their day. Mm-hmm. You know, for most. I've got a friend that, you know, I'm kind of concerned because every once in a while I'll read what she's saying on there. I'm like, wow, does she need some help? You know, and I've even sent private messages saying, is everything okay?
Yeah.
You know, because some people are like maybe a little too honest on there. But a lot of the time, it's just, you know, happy, fun things. And people are like, oh, man, everybody else is having way more fun than I am. No, they're just sharing their fun moments,
right.
You know. So anyway, don't let that get you down. And make sure you still talk to people in real life, too.
John and Heidi.
Boy, it's like Facebook is in the news all over the place because here we have another Facebook story. It says, if you want to be happier, Heidi, just cancel your Facebook account. Mm-hmm. That is the conclusion from a Danish think tank that insists that quitting Facebook would not only make you happier, but it would also make you less angry. Well, wouldn't that be the same as being
kind of the same?
Happier, less sad, and less worried. The Happiness Research Institute in Copenhagen, Denmark. Oh, let's pause right there for a second. The Happiness Research Institute?
That'd be a great job.
I know that. Why didn't we think of a title like that for this program? You're tuning into a scientific program, the Happiness Research Institute radio show. No, probably not. Anyway, back to this. Those folks in Denmark, the crazy Danes over there, found that after only 7 days away from Facebook, the users in their report felt happier, they felt less sad, they felt less worried, less angry, and less depressed. So they're saying if you have all of those emotions going on in your life, maybe it's time to unplug. I did that for 30 days once because somebody said I couldn't do it, and I did. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And day number 31, I was back on there. And I honestly, I'm not going to say that I felt like I was, missing out on a lot of stuff, but I had things on there that I was like, well, I try to use Facebook to just spread cheer, so that's what I was doing on there. Because I had people saying, well, I sure miss your witty comments on things. I'm like, yeah, well, I'll be back in 28 days, Mom.
I was just going to say.
All right. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstone did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Another story, another report that has English teachers shaking their heads in dismay at our generation that we happen to be in, Heidi.
Okay.
43% of U.S. adults read at least one work of literature last year. That is a novel or a short story or poetry or a play, making a 3-decade low, according to a national report from the National Endowment for the Arts. It says it is the long, steady decline of literary reading, they lament in the Washington Post. See, they're using big words in here like to make it all
First of all,
flowery
I
and
don't even
such.
like the Washington Post, so I think this is a ridiculous
Well, the
study,
NEA,
probably.
the National Education Association, maybe? I don't know who it is. The NEA. Who is the NEA?
I don't know.
Anyway, those folks have been... Is it in a story somewhere above here? Yeah, the National Endowment for the Arts. We already mentioned them. That's who it is. They've been tracking... I should have probably paid attention. They've been tracking adult reading and the arts participation since 1982, when the literature reading rate was an impressive 58%. Right now, we're at 43%. It says here the survey counts only those books that were read for pleasure and not because they were required for work or for school. In an attempt to capture the broadest possible range of leisure reading, there was also no distinction made between a physical book or a book that was read on an e-reader or even like on an online book. I wonder if they count audiobooks. You think that counts, or just people that are like reading it with their own eyes and
I think it should be
verbalizing
read
with
with
their own
your
mouths?
own...
Because I wonder if that counts. Anyway, it's not that I'm doing a lot of reading, or what are those called? Audiobooks or anything, but I just wonder if that counted towards this. It doesn't say in the story. But this is the second or third time we've had a story similar to this over the last... the other one was talking about how we're reading less overall, but this one here is saying now we're reading less fiction, like reading for pleasure. So... And
I like to read.
One of the other stories was talking about the libraries are struggling because people are, they're getting all these books in, but there's not people checking them out. Mm-hmm. And there are people saying, should we continue to fund libraries when people aren't using them? And there's people freaking out about it, going, yeah, we need to just get people reading
now them. They need to be around more than ever, and you need to do more to let people know that it's a resource.
And I encourage you,
there.
Especially a library. It's free. I mean,
it's
go in
free.
And get one of those.
And sadly, I haven't been into a library forever, and I really should get a card and go back to the library.
I mean, it's free. It doesn't cost you a darn thing. Just a little bit of time. Unless, of course, you don't bring things back. Then you could get a fine. But that's on you.
Yeah.
Coming up, we've got some good news, and it's a neat story. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
I always like to wrap things up around here with good news. And Heidi, I think this is just a neat story. Are you ready for a neat story?
I am ready for a neat story.
This is a neat story. A waitress at a popular Waikiki restaurant got a very big surprise during her shift. Kayla Chandra was waiting on a couple from Australia, and she says they hit it off while she was waiting on them. They just had a lot of fun chatting. And when the Chandras left, she was shocked to see that her tip was double the $200 bill. It was $400. So they left her a $200 tip for their dinner. Now, if we stopped the story right there, that would be a cool story, wouldn't it?
Well, first of all, how did they end up with a $200 tab? Was it just two people?
I don't know. It says the couple. So, yeah, they were probably
Good Lord.
drinking as much as you do, I suppose. I don't know. It doesn't say if it was a inexpensive restaurant. So it might have been, a more upscale place. Anyway, if we stopped the story right there, we could all walk away agreeing that this was a pretty cool story. But the story doesn't end there, Heidi.
Okay.
It gets better. How does it get better than a $200 tip? Well, here's how. It says the generosity didn't stop there. The next day, the couple returned to the restaurant and offered to help her pay off her student loans and her debt, which totaled more than $10,000.
Holy cow.
How cool is that? She must have been one amazing waitress.
She must have been.
That really is cool. But this couple from Australia just really thought this young lady was amazing. So they came back and said, hey, guess what? We want to help even more. We want to pay off all of your debt, which I think that's awesome. So think about how many people work in the service field that never see that kind of thing happen, even though they bust their butts to make sure they take care of people, and it's not like if you go in to work today and you make sure you take care of everybody, somebody's going to do this for you, but that's not why you should be doing it anyway. But it's cool that this kind of thing happens from time to time, and it's going to happen to somebody who does take care of people, and because I've been to places where I leave a tip because I feel like I have to, but I'm like, man, that lady was like mean and rude, and I'm sure it was probably just a bad day that we caught this person on, but we've had those experiences too. This will probably never happen to that person.
My friend and I yesterday went to a restaurant here in town and walked in, sat down in the booth. Nobody, the place was empty. There were two people up at the bar.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there was nobody in this whole restaurant. One waitress was standing there leaning up against the counter, just chit-chatting with everybody. The bartender was just standing up there chit-chatting with everybody. There was another waitress just kind of leaning over by the cash register, not doing anything. We sat in there easily 15 minutes. Yeah. Nobody ever even looked our direction. Nobody ever came to see if we needed anything. We finally just got up and walked out. And even while we were walking out, nobody said, oh, I'm sorry, I'll be right with you. Nothing. They did not acknowledge us at all.
That's too bad.
And they're not the owners because that wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
And I would like to contact whoever runs it and just let them know this is what your staff does when you're not around, just so you know.
Well, and you guys went somewhere else because I got to go pick
we went
Heidi
somewhere
up
else and we spent a lot of money.
And they were having a darn good time. So.
Yeah.
and I think they're friends with all those servers on Facebook now. So. Like, stay in touch. You guys going to come back next week? Like, what were you guys doing here? Anyway, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
Time now for the bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. This is a special month. The month of April is National Pet First Aid Month. And on the line, I have Kim Gaebelein, and she is with Bil-Jac Foods. Kim, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. We've got a very kind of a serious topic because if there's, first aid going on, something bad probably happened. But this is something that even if you don't think about it, you probably should be prepared for this kind of thing if you have a pet, shouldn't you?
Sure. Our dogs, when we're out, they could get into anything. And so accidents happen. That's why it's an accident. And so it's really good to kind of have a couple things top of mind and think about what you might need to do to kind of help get your dog stable to the vet and then to get them the right kind of assessment to make sure they have a good outcome.
Very nice. Now, again, April is National Pet First Aid Month, and Kim is with a company called Bil-Jac Foods. We're going to talk about what they do here in a bit. They've got some really yummy dog treats that our puppies absolutely love. But let's talk about some tips for people for this National Pet First Aid Month. What are some things that maybe people should be keeping in mind as we're rolling through this month here?
Yeah, so, certainly one of the things that's important to think about is, what could happen. So knowing your dog and knowing their behavior is really important because then you can notice when something might be wrong. So, if they're acting strange, so if they're limping, again, if you're going to want to see, are they panting more? Are they acting differently? Are they not eating? So some of those things are going to be indications that maybe there's something going on. The other tip that I think is really great that a lot of people really like is, I always never remember the name of our emergency vet. And I have had to use it before. So one of the things that I do is just like people put their in case of emergency phone numbers in their phone for under ice, I just put it under emergency vet because then I don't have to remember his name, but I can always find it in my phone. I almost always have my phone with me. So if I'm out on a walk, if I'm at home, it's really easy to go to your phone and just look for emergency vet in case you should need that number, as opposed to, trying to go on the internet, find that number, that kind of thing. It just makes it really easy for you to have that number top of mind. So in case you need to call because you probably know your vet's name, right? You just don't always know your emergency vet's name.
I never really thought about that. And I suppose if there's an emergency in the family, you usually would dial 911, but you probably don't do that for a pet, do you?
No, you can't do that. So this kind of is your kind of way to get 911 by just putting it in your phone as emergency vet, and then it's easy for you to be able to find that number. Hopefully you won't need it, but just in case you need it, you'll be able to find it quickly. And, as we get into the warmer season, now it's starting to warm up, with weather starting to get a little nicer for all of us. Certainly, some of the things to watch out for right now are heat stroke and dehydration, right? So it's really pretty easy for your dog to not get enough water, if you don't have clean water out for them in the house and outside. Also, be real careful about taking them out in the car. You might think, let's go for a walk, and then on the way back I'll stop at the store. But, it can get pretty warm pretty fast in your car. Even if it's only 70 or, 80 degrees out, it can get up to 100 degrees pretty quickly in your car. So be real careful, be cognizant of the weather and make sure that you're not seeing them pant or have some unusual symptoms that maybe you might want to address.
Absolutely. Again, our guest right now, Kim Gaebelein, and she is with Bil-Jac Foods. Now, one of the things that you had mentioned is there are times that dogs get sick this time of year, or I suppose any kind of animal really, because they eat the wrong thing. They're curious and they see something that oh, hey, what is this? And they eat it up. And that's not good because there are things that are A-okay and perfectly fine for people that are not so good for pets. So we want to make sure that we don't have those things around. But something that we can do that's definitely good for the pets is Bil-Jac Foods. You guys have a lot of treats that not only will the dogs love them, but they're also good for the dogs too, right?
Yeah, what's really great is we use fresh chicken and chicken liver to make our treats. And so dogs really love them because it's just chock full of that chicken liver. And so they smell great. And so I know my dog will practically do anything for one of our treats.
and we've got two puppies that absolutely love them. So the small household family pet approved. So.
Oh, that's good. Well, and they come in a lot of varieties. So we have small training treats called Little Jacks that are great for training, and then we also have treats for larger dogs. But they're great because you can use them anytime, and like I said, you can use some different varieties. And usually dogs just go crazy. And
our dogs, they like the little ones. We can train them to do anything. I actually use those treats to train our dogs to do our taxes this year. So. It worked well.
I'll
Okay.
have to try that next year. That sounds like a great idea.
Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but no, they're really cool. Well, thank you so much, Kim, for taking some time to chat with us about National Pet First Aid Month. Now, again, she's with Bil-Jac Foods, dog food. Now, where can people find Bil-Jac in this area?
We're really kind of in a variety of stores. The best way to probably find us near you would be to go online to our website at Bil-Jac, BIL-JAC.com, and we've got a store locator on there, and you can find it where we are in your area that's closest to you. And we also have some great stuff out on the blog. We actually have a lot more information about pet first aid that we just posted to our blog last week. So if you come out to the website, you can also get that information as well, including some ideas for a pet first aid kit as well.
Very, very nice. And I'll have a link to all of this on our Facebook page to make it really easy. Kim, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, and good luck to everybody out there staying safe this summer.
Absolutely. Again, the month of April, National Pet First Aid Month. And again, we've got a link to their website at Bil-Jac Foods, Bil-Jac Dog Food. They've got a lot of great things on that website. And we've got a link on our social media at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.